It doesn't make sense for everybody to buy a home. Nobody sat down and actually shared that with you? What do agents say? It's a great time to buy. You say something different. You are an instant trusted advisor. Why would it be great for me to buy a home? That's an awesome question, John. I actually have another meeting at 12:45. Basically, like for some people, it makes sense and some people it doesn't based off of your situation. But I guess if it'd be appropriate, we could sit down and discuss it in a little bit more detail. And I can ask you a couple of questions and then I can give you like an analysis that I give all my top clients. Would that be helpful for you? Oh my God, that'd be so great. Well, nobody's actually ever done that for me. Everybody just says it's a great time to buy. Oh yeah, Fortunately, some agents just say it's always a good time to buy it. And maybe it is, and maybe it isn't. But did they sit down with you? No. Oh, wow. Yeah, that could be problematic. Even if you just utilize the tone, the pace, the conversation, the asking of questions, allowing the prospect to talk, you're going to see all of your numbers spike. Welcome back. Vikram Diol here with the Real Estate Sales Academy. And today I want to talk about one of the reasons that so many agents lose sales. And one of the things that agents do a lot is they make an assumption, right? So I was role-playing with some clients that just started out with me. I was role-playing with one of their teams. And one of the guys said, the prospect in the role-play said, we are looking for a bigger backyard. And so the agent said, well, I assume you have a small backyard now then. Let's break it down. The thing is, why would we assume anybody has anything unless we ask the question, right? So let's not make assumptions. If somebody says, I need a bigger home, and they say they have a bunch of kids, oh, I assume you need a bigger home because you have a bunch of kids. Well, we don't know that's the truth. No, I actually need a bigger home because I have a bunch of kids and my parents are moving in to help us. So we need more space for mom and dad. They actually want to have more privacy, so they want to be downstairs. They don't want to have their bedroom right off the living space. They want to have a little bit of a tucked away space, so maybe we might need to do a little remodeling, whatever it is. Let prospect tell you their problem because you asked a great question. The other thing is that when you ask good questions and the prospect tells you the answer, as my mentor partner, Jeremy Miner says, it's not just they're telling you, they're also telling themselves. When they tell themselves why they want to move, all of a sudden now the gap, it's bigger, right? So when we don't make an assumption as a salesperson, and we assume a lot of things in sales, we assume that somebody doesn't want to buy because they say interest rates, right? Oh, well, the interest rates, so that's why we're not buying. We assume it's because the interest rates are high. We don't actually know what their problem is. When you say interest rates, right? When you guys say interest rates, how do you mean interest rates? Oh, well, they're really high right now. Okay. Compared to what? Well, compared to 3.5%. Oh, you're right. They are high. I guess why does that affect? How is that affecting you? Well, because of that, our payment's going to be higher. They never said they couldn't afford anything. We don't need to go into objection handling mode and start solving their objections. Oh, well, let me tell you, rates have historically been this. They don't care about the facts. They care about what it means to them to have that. Okay, so rates are higher, your payment's going to be higher. I guess I still, it makes sense, right, that you guys are hesitant, but why are you hesitant? Tell me more about that problem you're having with interest rates. Well, we feel like we missed the ball because we could have bought in 2021 and we would have got a 3% rate. You might have got a 3% rate. You also might have paid 25%, 30%, 40%, 50% more for the same house and got a lower rate. Oh, well, we never thought of that. Yeah, so you might have paid 1.3 for $1 million house. And even though your rate's lower, your payments might not have actually differed very much because you might have paid grossly more than what somebody's buying the home for now. Oh, I never thought of that. Or you can negotiate prices now because the market's softer. When rates come down to 6%, 7.5%, 6%, I don't know exactly where rates are, but as they come down into the 6%, high 6%, when they do, I think we're going to see another spike up in rates. Personally, I think we're not out of this inflation boat yet. Maybe there's a little bit of a pause, but I don't think we're out of the rate hikes yet. I could be wrong, But I did say rates are going to go to 8% last year. They went to 8. I do think they're still with, now we have a new war going on. We're already in Ukraine. We're probably getting into the $1 trillion price point. All that money is going to create inflation, right? All that money is going to create inflation. And that inflation we have to pay for as taxpayers, which means, you can't just make up things and not have somebody pay for it. So these are things that we should be talking to our consumers about. Maybe they don't need to move. Maybe they don't need to sell. But if they need to, and they're thinking about doing it in the next 12 to 18 months, instead of putting them on a drip campaign, which so many agents do, I hear hundreds of calls with my buddy Cody, who owns Sheridan Street, right? He runs a call center, and he's like, hey, Vic, can you critique this call for me? Hey, Vic, can you critique this call for me? I work with a lot of his clients, and they'll be like, hey, we got these 10 calls in, let's review them together. And a lot of their team members, right, are sending people just, okay, you're not ready to buy, we'll put you on a drip campaign, we'll check back with you in 6 months. No, don't do that. Why aren't you ready to buy yet? Tell me, I'm curious, why 6 months versus 3 months or 12 months, right? You see, when you phrase it 3, 6, 9, 12, when you give them both options, I was curious, why 6 months, not 12 months? And they're like, oh, well, 12 months is too long. How come? And they're going to tell you X, Y, and Z. Why 6 months and not 3 months or 9 months? Well, we're thinking about X, Y, and Z. Oh, okay. And now you can start to actually solve their problems instead of throwing them on a drip campaign. If that makes sense, just down below in the comments, right? Down below in the comments, because I could be biking right now. You guys, a beautiful day here in Medellin, Colombia. I'd love to be on the bike, but I wanted to make sure that we're getting you great content so that you can go out and utilize this in the marketplace now. This is what's winning for our private clients inside the Real Estate Sales Academy, right? Our advanced clients that are working with me personally, not another coach of mine, working with me personally 3, 4, 5 times a week to get the advanced skills to learn what to say, how to say it, and when to say it so that they can be top agents in their marketplace, selling 2, 3, 4, 5 homes extra every single month because they're learning what to say, which isn't pushing people away, it's pulling them in. So the same prospecting hours that you're doing, that they're doing, they're just getting a higher result, right? Because they're not pushing people away. So when people talk about rates, let's figure out why it matters. Okay, well, let me ask you, okay, so you want to wait till rates come down to, I don't think I heard you say that. Maybe I forgot to ask. Where did rates need to be at for you to buy? 6%. Okay. And then are you aware that right now we've had the least amount of home sales since 2000? No, I wasn't. Okay, yeah. So normally we see 5.5 million sales a year. Right now we're right around 4 million, which means there's 1.5 million people who wanted to buy that decided to wait, just like you guys are thinking. When those people come into the market, right, they're going to trickle in. Some people are going to be a 6.5. Some people are going to be a 7. Some people are going to be a 7.25. When those people start to trickle into the market as we get into the mid 6s, which could take a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. I don't know. We might see 9s before we see 6s, right? There's a lot of economists on both sides that say we're going to see 9s, 10s, maybe even 11s before we see 6s. And there's a lot of people that say we're going to see 6s and we're never going to go past the 8 that we saw back in October. So it could go both ways, right? I don't know. But let's say we get to the 6.5% in the next 12 to 18 months. More buyers, less buyers, more buyers. And if there's more buyers, which way do you think prices are going to go? Down or up? Down or up? See his finger, down or up? Even if you're on the phone, down or up? And I always like to put the answer that I want them to say based off of my research at the end, right? So if there's more buyers, right, which logically would make sense? Prices going down or prices going up? Probably prices going up. Oh. And then what happened in 2021? You guys said you missed out in 2021. What happened there? Well, we didn't want to buy it. Why not? Well, because it was multiple offers. It was a crazy bidding war. Okay, so if there's multiple offers again, would you guys want to actually buy in that kind of an economy? Well, no, we wouldn't. Why not? Well, because then we're going to pay more. Oh, okay. So, and I'm just throwing this out there because I know I called you out of the blue. Only if you would find this helpful, what we could do is we could put some time aside on both of our calendars. And I guess I could share with you the 3 most important things that I tell all of my top clients that are thinking about waiting, thinking about maybe buying, they're just on the fence. And we could talk about 3 different strategies. We could talk about waiting for rates to come to where you want them. We could talk about buying in the next 90 to 180 days. And we could talk about possibly not buying and you just staying where you're at. Because for some people, right, that are in these 3% rates, you're probably never in our lifetime or not in the next 20 years going to see rates that low. So it might just make sense. We don't have to do it, but if you'd find it helpful, right, would you be opposed to that as a next step? Now, there's a lot of psychology that went into that statement. If I called you, I know I just called you out of the blue. That gets rid of the I don't know you. If you'd find it helpful, right, they're going to say yes, but they can't tell you yes, but they're going to say yes in their mind. We could put some time on our calendars, both of our calendars. We're equally busy, right? We're not just waiting for you. We're actually busy. Boom. All of these things that we're saying start to play a big part. Let me ask you, would you be opposed to that as a possible next step, right? Only if you'd find it helpful. Only if you'd find it helpful. Well, yeah, I would. It's they're making the choice, right? It sets you up for them making the choice. And then you give them 3 different reasons, right? Now, if you don't have 3 reasons, you could say, let me share the 3 most important things about buying a home in this market. You don't have to say the things. If you use the right tonality and bring a lot of curiosity in, and it's like a secret you're sharing with them, it's a gift you're giving them, they're not going to ask because you're so confident in your delivery, but you're also so natural. Your tone is correct, your pacing is correct, and you're being very conversational. So they're going to feel very normal with you. So if we're able to do that, I guess, would you be opposed to that as a possible next step? And they're going to be like, no. And if they say, well, right, they're going to now give you the real concern they have and you can solve it then. Now, not everybody you talk to is going to actually transact, right? I spent millions of dollars on Zillow leads, online leads, right? Paying for different lead services, open houses, marketing, website traffic, all the different things that, big teams do. We spent a lot of money and we had a lot of conversations. We had a lot of appointments and not everybody actually buys. I don't care because we were meeting with people consistently every single day because we were asking better questions. We weren't triggering sales resistance. We didn't ask right out the gate, 30 seconds into a phone call, right? Ring, ring. Hey, this is Vikram with Real Brokers. So it looks like you wanted to buy a house. We got this inquiry online. Or thanks for calling me, about my sign call. Looks like you're ready to buy a home. Are you pre-approved? You guys, I've heard that before. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, thousands of times from agents that are doing anywhere from 0 transactions a year to agents that are doing 40 to 50. And they probably be doing 80 to 100. But a lot of times with the people like, oh, no, we're not ready. Look, cool. We'll just put you on a drip. Click. Guys, we were doing $50, $60 million a year. We met with everybody we could. 2 to 3 appointments a day, right? We were calling back everybody. Hey, has anybody sat down to educate you on the 3 most important things about why buying a home today might actually be detrimental? What do you mean? Yeah, well, it doesn't make sense for everybody to buy a home. Has nobody sat down and actually shared that with you? What do agents say? It's a great time to buy. You say something different. You are an instant trusted advisor. Why wouldn't it be great for me to buy a home? That's an awesome question, John. I actually have another meeting. Oh my God, it's 12:42 right now. I got a meeting at 12:45. Basically, like for some people it makes sense and some people it doesn't based off of your situation. But I guess if it would be appropriate, right? If it'd be appropriate, we could sit down and discuss it in a little bit more detail. And I can ask you a couple of questions and then I can give you like an analysis that I give all my top clients. Would that be helpful for you? Oh my God, that'd be so great. Well, nobody's actually ever done that for me. Everybody just says it's a great time to buy. Oh yeah, fortunately, some agents just say that it's always a good time to buy it. And maybe it is, and maybe it isn't. But did they sit down with you? No. Oh, wow. Yeah, that could be problematic. Well, I got some time tomorrow. I go, well, what works better for you? Late afternoons or like, since today's a Thursday that I'm recording this on, I'd say late afternoons or like, weekends, like a Saturday. Oh no, Saturday midday is way better. Kids are back from soccer. They're tuckered out. They're going to be taking a nap, right? They're going to be watching their cartoons. Me and the wife will have plenty of time to talk. Yeah, that'd be great. They're going to be eating out of your paws when you say stuff like that. All right, you guys, this was supposed to be a 10-minute video. It went to 15. Apologies. I know it was a little bit longer. Please, please, please listen to this again. Write down these frameworks, utilize them. They are going to help you create tons of appointments. I can't stress, if you have no appointments, you have no business. The hardest part of agents world is booking that appointment. Once you're in front of 3 or 4 people, 5 people, 6 people a week, you're going to get a buyer. You're going to get a seller if you do enough, right? That's another skill set. The presentation is another skill set. But if we can get in front of people, right? Like you're not going to get 100% no's. You're going to have a 20, 30, right? If you're better at presenting, 40%, right? If we work together, I can get you in the 70, 80, 90% range, right? But even if you just utilize this stuff, the tone, the pace, the conversation, the asking of questions, allowing the prospect to talk, you're going to see all of your numbers spike. All right. So listen to this again. If you got value, right, and you're here, do me a favor, like this so that other great people like you, there's other agents struggling, they can hear it. Share this with somebody in your office, right? It's just a little share button. Share this with somebody in your office. Share it with your team leader. If you are a team leader and you want to bring me in for some coaching and some mentorship and training of how to actually be more conversational, book more appointments, close more deals, just leave a message here, right, with the way for me to contact you, or go to my Instagram, Coach Vikram Diol, Coach Vikram Diol. Go to my Instagram, send me a DM, and I'll respond to you. And then, boom, we'll jam there. I love you. I'm here with you. Can't wait to see you guys send me a message saying, oh my God, I used it. I booked an appointment. I got a sale. Like, I can't wait. I'm so excited to hear those messages. It's one of the reasons why we put out the content, because we want to see you win. And, oh, by the way, if you guys are at a brokerage that's, you don't feel as much support as what you're paying into, you're paying $20,000, $30,000 a year, $15,000 a year. And you're open to a conversation about a wealth strategy plan, about how real brokerage is helping a lot of agents. It might not be for you, right? And that's totally cool. But if you're open to that conversation and you want to see why there's so many agents, I think now the company's at like 17,000 brokers, and you're open to that conversation, just book on my calendar and we'll have a quick little 20-minute wealth strategy plan. Boom, I'll see you later.